Hey, it's Adam, and I'm back. We have a new Armored Core drop. Just either today or yesterday, they dropped a new trailer for the story trailer. So that's really interesting. Traditionally, Armored Cores aren't really about the story. They're about blowing things up in giant mechs, right? So we've always had story, but it was always a little subtle, and it wasn't, super deep or anything like that. We've had mysteries like who is Hustler 1? What is Hustler 1? Leos Klein, who is he? What is he? That sort of thing. A lot of these stories do repeat. We do have very similar beats going on over and over and over again. But yeah, like I said, that's not the focus of Armored Core. It's always the giant mechs and the explosions and the customization and that sort of thing. So it'll be interesting to see what they're doing with the story here. Is it going to be kind of more of the same, or are they actually going to go a little bit more narrative? Frankly, I'll be honest, I don't really care. I want to see giant things explode and build my mechs. That's what I'm here for. But, this is still exciting because maybe the story will be an interesting one. And of course, any more information is good information. So I'm super excited about that. So we're going to hop right on in. I got a fancy new transition here so I can stay on screen. Look at that. Isn't that fancy? But yeah, let's just hop right in and see how it goes.
You again. I'm not exactly craving company here.
Hounds now entering combat zone. Initiating phase 2.
Okay, so I meant to pause that there. Sorry. Ah! Hang on, give me a second here. We'll get back to where we were. To the video. All right, here we go. Where were we? We were around.
Hounds now
Okay, there we go. Yeah. So, okay. So obviously they're calling us hounds, not ravens. So raven's just our call sign. Raven is not all the AC pilots, which is a pretty big departure from the classics. And the old ones, the ravens were everybody who was part of Raven's Nest. I know in some of the later ones, obviously Last Raven, you're the only Raven left, right? So you are the Raven. But the fact that they're calling us hounds now and not ravens, yeah, that's interesting. Particularly given that Armored Core 5 was created by, I can't remember the name of the company, but they're the guys who did Chrome Hounds. So I'm wondering if this is kind of a bleed over from that, or we're kind of combining Chrome Hounds and Armored Core together. So, Raven is now your pilot, but Hounds are the generic pilots. So that's an interesting thing. Let's continue.
entering combat zone. Initiating phase 2.
So what happened to 617 and the others? Fill me in, Admiral Walter. Well, at least you're helping me clear my inventory.
Vital signs lost. Recalculating approach vector.
This one is functional, but don't expect much more.
Okay, so we're going to stop it right here. This is very clearly Human Plus right there. So we are very clearly a Human Plus test subject. That's really obvious to us. And so we're this, what do they say, 601, 607? I don't remember the exact number. I'm going to have to listen a little more. But yeah, so it looks like we're in probably some kind of cryostasis or deep storage, and they're pulling us out. They mentioned Walter in there again. So I guess he's, and it sounds like they said inventory. So it sounds like maybe we have a bunch of, they have a bunch of old Human Plus test subjects holed away somewhere, and now they're pulling us out. So, yeah. Mysteries abound. Let's continue.
Ready to talk. Wake it up.
Wake it up. point blank. Melted. Goosebumps, literal goosebumps. Oh.
Updating target parameters. Phase 3, pattern E.
Okay. What am I seeing behind my head? It's also worth noting, if you have played the original Armored Core, not even Armored Core 1, just Armored Core, the original one, if you do go into the Human Plus, basically you get the view from being on a bed and you have lights over you and they look exactly like this. So this scene is taken verbatim from the original Armored Core. So if you have played Armored Core, the original one, this will look very familiar to you.
617 down.
617, okay.
Reporting to Handler Walter. Mission complete.
Okay.
621. I'll give you a reason to exist.
Okay.
Let's get to work.
So I'm guessing we are 621, not the one that they were mentioning. Okay, that's kind of interesting. All right, so let's go back a bit, take a look at some of these different things. Let me go here. Okay. All right. So some things that I found interesting. There we go. Pause. Here. Okay, so this is something that I was kind of wondering about when we saw this here and then this here. I don't know, but something about this gives me a feeling of, if you've seen Neon Genesis Evangelion, you have the concept of a dummy plug. And not to get into spoilers, but dummy plugs are sketchy, and to say the least. And if you are familiar with that, it does seem a little bit like we're getting a dummy plug situation here. Because, I mean, look, we have this guy here, right? That's, I'm assuming, is us. We're all jacked in, but they have the AC core right there in the theater, right? It's right there in the theater with the body. Now, if you've played other Armored Cores, I think it was, I don't remember which one it was, maybe 3 or Nexus or one of those, they do show somebody on the inside of a AC piloting it, and they have the console up, and they have like kind of like your Star Trek style console where it lights up, and you get different displays on it, and you can, it's multitask and all that. It's all touch screen and piloted that way. So in the past, they are piloted not analog, but like a Gundam in a sense, right? The Gundams have the joysticks, but like you're sitting in a chair, there's a guy in a chair who's controlling it, and I think there's even, I don't remember which one, but there's one where like the AC opens up and the guy even kind of comes out of it. But here it looks like, maybe we are integrated into the AC in the sense that we're not, this isn't even like just say piloting it in the traditional sense, but we are like actually integrated into the AC. And that's where you're getting your Human Plus abilities are. That's where you're getting your abilities to do some of these things, is because, unlike say, it's the difference between having picking up a controller, right? Picking up a controller here. It's the difference between picking up a controller and controlling a mechanical arm versus, controlling your actual arm with your fingers and that sort of thing, right? If you're controlling it with some sort of controller, there's some sort of latency there, or there's limitations to what you can do, whereas if you were jacked into the actual person themselves, you can do a lot more. So that's going to be my standing theory for now, is that in this game they're implying that we are actually going to be connected to our AC in some way. That's just kind of, I don't know, that might be entirely off base, but that's kind of the feeling I'm getting from it here. I also like this part just because this is very clearly going to be giving us an idea of scale to the bosses, which we've already seen. But I mean, like, this is another example of a boss fight right here. Okay. And also, what's worth mentioning is that there's two ACs in this fight. You know, they're fighting back to back. So, yeah, I don't know if in the other things we've seen, they're all gameplay. This is not gameplay, so it might mean nothing. But this could be either an AI companion, or it could be another player. So maybe there's some sort of co-op. I know there's PvP, there's you can fight other people, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe if there's going to be a co-op thing. I know there was a lot of people didn't like how much of was it Verdict Day was a lot of online. I thought it was fine, but I know a lot of people didn't like that. But yeah, so and then we get some new looks at the ACs, but then yeah, also what was it? The way they focus on. Where was it? They focus on the body, and then yeah. So you see like this body so these are the things that are giving me that kind of impression. Okay, the fact that we're getting like a right up here, we're getting a close up on our head, and then we get a close up on the AC's head, right? So is this like a parallel? Like we are the AC in a way. That's kind of giving me that kind of indication. Also, the body on the table, the body's on the table being worked on, the AC's in the background being worked on. He calls our name, and it wakes up. Let's get to work, right? So it wakes up while it's still hooked up. It's not like somebody got inside and turned it on. Like it's activating. So I'm wondering if yeah. And this also might be a kind of thing where maybe we're not physically inside the AC inject in that way. Maybe it is like a drone thing, but maybe we're just sitting on a table somewhere and we're drone moving it. But our brain is just being used as a processor. Spoilers for the original, not Armored Core, but Front Mission, right? Where they're using human brains as processors inside the Shrikes. I'm sorry if that was a spoiler for you, but that game is like, 30 years old at this point. So you should have played it already. All right. So, yeah, I'm super pumped about this. And I really do like these nods to the original. I'm really enjoying, this right here. Where was it? Come on.
621.
That's not the one I wanted, but shows it there too. No. There. That is, like I said. Let's see if I can, real quick, I'm going to try to see if I can pull up a picture of Armored Core 1 Human Plus. Armored Core 1 Human Plus. Let's see if we can find a picture of it somewhere. I'm not seeing it now. Human Plus table, maybe. Human Plus screen. Screen. No. Ah. Here we go. Okay, so it's not exactly like it. But okay, here we go. All right, so let me do this real quick. I'm going to show you guys this. This is the original Human Plus scene from Armored Core. You can see right there up the title. All right, but let's like watch this. Okay. So now loading. See, okay, I was wrong. It's not exactly the same, but it has the similar kind of. Okay, can you guys hear that? I guess you guys can't hear it, but yeah. So yeah, and I scan you, and then the lights turn on. Okay, so I was misremembering. That's not spot on, but it's pretty close. Let's face it. The you can see the You know, it's a surgery table basically. So it is pretty close. So yeah, I'm super pumped. I feel kind of embarrassed now that I got that wrong. But I think that was pretty close. And you know, given that this game came out like what, more than 20 years ago, I think that was a pretty close memory. So I'm pretty excited. I'm feeling pretty confident in this. All right, so I am super pumped. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you see anything that you think is really interesting, or that you would like us to talk about in future videos. I would love to go into detail and answer questions if anybody has any. So yeah, let us know, and we'll see you guys soon. So have a lovely day, and catch you later, guys. Bye-bye.